afternoon, and for some of you, good evening. To start with, I would like to extend to you all a warm welcome to the MEST African Challenge info session. We believe most of you, if not all, have a lot of questions concerning this year's MEST African Challenge. And that is how come this session was put together, to sort of answer all your questions that you may have concerning this year's MEST African Challenge. And as we progress, there will be room for Q&A, where you'll be allowed to answer all the questions that you have concerning this year's MEST African Challenge. And our panelists here will be more than happy to answer all the questions that you may have. And also, sorry for that. With me on the call are two great personalities. We'll give them the opportunity to introduce themselves shortly. And by way of introduction, my name is Daniel Delali. I work with MEST as a portfolio associate. So because of time, I'll just invite our two speakers to introduce themselves. First on the list is Abena. So we'll give her the opportunity to introduce herself, tell us a little bit about herself and what she do. So Abena.
Thank you, Daniel. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining the MAC info session. My name is Abena Anibudu, and I work with the MEST portfolio team. So I work alongside Daniel, who is very amazing, and Melissa, who has been super supportive and is in the chat. So thank you, Daniel, for having me today. And I'm very, very excited to share about the MEST Africa Challenge later on.
Thank you very much, Abena. So Baraka, if you can also jump in and tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and any fun fact.
Thank you so much, Daniel. First of all, check if you guys can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Thank you so much. So my name is Baraka Jeremiah. I'm a co-founder and CEO of a startup called Kilimo Fresh Foods Africa Limited. Kilimo Fresh is a Tanzania-based social enterprise. Basically, we source fresh produce from smallholder farmers in rural areas, and we supply to B2B and B2C customers in Dar es Salaam. Currently, we have 3 regions: Dar es Salaam, Morogoro, and Dodoma regions. We are actually one of the MEST Africa Challenge winners, and we won in 2020. And to date, we have been in operation for over 3 years, almost 3 years and a half now. And currently, we are working with over 600 smallholder farmers in Tanzania. So basically, we provide them with off-taking services. Most farmers in Tanzania are facing more than 40% post-harvest losses. And since we began our career as smallholder farmers ourselves, we spent over 4 years as smallholder farmers. And during this time, we were experiencing a lot of challenges with post-harvest losses. So because of this, we decided to do something about it. That is when we came up with Kilimo Fresh Foods Africa in 2018. So basically, we connect smallholder farmers and produce buyers leveraging mobile technology. We have an ordering platform where customers can buy fresh produce. They order directly from our platform, and then we source the produce from smallholder farmers. We add value through cleaning, sorting, and packing, and then we deliver to our customers' locations using refrigerated trucks, but also we use cold storage so as to increase the produce shelf life, but also to maintain the quality and the freshness of the produce from the time it leaves the field to the time it reaches the customer's table. So that's a nutshell about Kilimo Fresh. And thank you so much for this session.
Sure, thank you, Baraka. Indeed, Baraka is no stranger to the MEST African Challenge. And later on in the conversation, he will share with us his experience during the MEST African Challenge and also the impact that MEST African Challenge has brought to his business and also to his personal life. So I think we can kickstart the session. So I'll invite Abena to answer a few questions concerning MAC. But before that, I believe someone on this call will be wondering, what is MEST itself? So if Abena can, let us know what MEST is and what the MEST African Challenge is all about.
Okay, thank you, Daniel, for that. So the MEST Africa Challenge, that we call MAC internally, is a Pan-African startup pitch competition, and it was launched with the aim of providing a stage for technology startups to raise funding. So this year, we're running MAC for the 4th time, and we are opening applications in 5 markets. So that's Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Senegal, and South Africa. Applications are currently open, and they'll be closing on the 31st of August. That is next week, Wednesday, I believe. So please, please, please quickly apply for this. You stand a chance to win $50,000 in equity funding from MEST. And you'd also get access to the global MEST network and every other resources that we share with all our portfolio companies.
Thank you. And since you mentioned the 5 markets that this year's challenge is focusing on, I think someone will be wondering, what if I operate in, let's say, Zimbabwe? Do I qualify? What if maybe my operations is in, let's say, Tanzania? Do I qualify to apply for this year's MEST Africa Challenge? Or must my headquarters be situated in the targeted market that you just mentioned?
Thanks, Daniel. So primarily, we're looking at startups that are operating in these 5 markets because we were looking to have the regional finals, and I'll go through the process of regional finals in person. However, if you're operating in any of these markets and you can travel to any of the places that we are having the pitch competition, you're eligible to apply.
All right, thank you. And someone also want to find out what is the application process? What does it take to get involved?
Okay, so we are taking in applications through the VC4A platform, and I'll share the link in the chat shortly. So you fill in the questions that we have asked, you upload your pitch deck, and then you'd go through a shortlisting process with the MEST portfolio community and some judges. We're looking at shortlisting 10 startups per market, so a total of 50, and then they would attend the regional finals in October between the 1st and the 15th. We'll communicate the dates in due course. After the regional final, we're going to shortlist 2, and we'll have 10 finalists coming into Accra for the final demo day. And that is where the competition is really going to get very heated, because we'll have the top startups across Africa competing for the $50,000 in equity funding.
All right, thank you. But then again, we also want to find out, what does it take to qualify? I mean, do I need to be a pre-stage startup, early stage startup? Should I have a traction? I mean, what does it take to qualify? What do I need to do, or what does my startup need to meet before I can apply?
Okay, so we are looking at pre-seed or seed stage startups who have raised $100,000 or less cumulatively since they started. We're looking at startups who are currently generating revenue. It doesn't matter how much you are raising at the moment, but we just want to see the traction that you are currently raising. We also want people who can demonstrate traction in 1 or more of the 5 MEST Africa Challenge. And I think this also ties into the question that you asked. You don't have to just be operating in 1 market, but as many as you can. If you do have plans of expanding into any of these markets as well, it will also be a plus. We had to limit it because at the moment we have resources in these 5 markets. Although we are looking to expand, this is where we are able to demonstrate the most support. We're also looking for startups that have been in operation for 2 years or less, tech-enabled, because MEST is a tech-enabled company, industry agnostic, any business model. So you can be B2B startup, B2C, B2B2C, whatever it is, you're eligible to apply. And last but not the least, we'll just ask for all our Francophone applicants to pitch in English. We do understand that it is not your first language, and so we're making arrangements to have a translator, but we would like to ask that they do pitch in English. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think I have 2 more questions for you, Abena, before we invite Baraka on board. I think, what if my startup is at the idea stage? I'm now trying to sort myself out with a prototype, with an MVP and all that. I'm yet to even hit the ground running. So do I still stand a chance I might have the opinion that my model is great, my ideal is great, but then again, I'm here to hit the market. So do I still stand a chance to apply?
So not for Mac, sadly, but the good thing about MEST is we like to support people in the ecosystem wherever they are, whatever they are trying to do. And we have partnered with other reputable institutions like UNICEF, like GIZ, like DigiLogic, and we are running different programs for them. We also have our flagship training program that is a 12-month entrepreneurship geared program. And at the end of it, as part of your capstone project, you would have to come up with an idea, and MEST will give you seed funding. So don't be discouraged if the MEST Africa Challenge is currently not for your startup. Still stay plugged into MEST and look out for other opportunities that are available. You can reach out to any of us. So Melissa is on the call, Daniel, the moderator, or myself. We will put our email addresses in the chat so that we can engage with you with how you can work with MEST or how you can benefit from MEST.
All right, thank you. And lastly, I want to find out, or someone on the call will share the same sentiment with me, what are the benefits in applying or joining the MEST African Challenge? I mean, I think some are aware of the monetary value, but what else do they stand to gain? I mean, for when they apply to the MEST African Challenge?
Okay, thank you, Daniel. Like I mentioned, the prize is $50,000 in equity funding, but you'd also get access to the Global MEST Network. You're going to get access to coaching, to resources, to advice, and everything else that we have to provide. But I think the main catch is the equity funding.
Okay, all right. Thank you very, very much, Abena. I believe you've answered most, if not all, of the questions that some of the participants here might have. At this moment, we want to invite Baraka to also share his experience about the MEST African Challenge. Hello, Baraka, can you hear me? All right, great.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Thank you so much for having me here, Daniel and the team. So to me, MEST has been a game changer, especially in operations. I remember by that time, 2020, when we were applying, we just came, COVID was still hitting us very hard. And during that time, we lost over 80% of our revenue because we supply the schools and hospitality markets in Tanzania. And but by that particular time, more than 80%, like all the schools were closed, hospitality industry, more than 80% were closed down, movements were limited. So it was a very tough, tough time for us. And MEST Africa Challenge actually came at a rescue for us because we were really struggling at that particular time. Of course, we had pivoted from B2B to B2C, where we're supplying the home delivery. We're doing home deliveries to supply people vegetables at home, but still that was not enough to keep us going. So MEST coming in has really improved us in different ways. And just to keep it short, I'll mention only three. First of all, the funding part, we won the 50K prize, which was equity. To us, the prize was very important in terms of especially funding our operations, at least for the next 8 months before our next fundraising. And at that particular time, we were struggling with salaries and other expenses like rents, etc. So having won that prize has really helped us to keep us afloat during that time. But also the fund it had helped us to increase our number of fleet. We're able to purchase 1 truck and 2 more bikes to help us in our deliveries. But also, most importantly, it was used to invest in the technology. So initially, we only had a web platform that our customers were used to place orders, and this was for B2B and B2C. It was bringing a lot of confusion in terms of ordering, but through MEST funding, we were able to develop our WhatsApp solution. So most of our B2C customers could order vegetables using our web platform or our WhatsApp, but also we had a separate platform for B2B clients. So this made it made it a bit easier for us to be able to process all these orders. But apart from that, we were able to increase our storage capacity. We're using a very small warehouse before we won the challenge, but through that funding, we're able to get over 300 square meter warehouse, which we've been using to, like, some part as a distribution center, but also some part as a storage for the fresh produce that are staying for more than 24 hours. So it has been very helpful to us, but also apart from that, through MEST, I've been able to build some networks. For example, remember there is one startup from Kenya that we met through MEST, the ones that we've been working on developing the WhatsApp solution. However, we could not finish the development, but engagement with those startups help us to learn a lot of things and also helped us to meet a lot of other people. But also meeting the MEST team itself, Daniel, Abena, and other people, Ashwin himself. We spoke with Ashwin different times, and every time I had a challenge, he would give us an insights. And also with you, Daniel, I think most of the times I've been disturbing on WhatsApp. Maybe I need this, I need this, I need that. You'll be coming handy to help me with different options, different ideas. And that has been very helpful on our side as well. But also, most importantly, the monthly mentor network series. This series, it's like learning. It's a learning curve for us. We learn a lot of things every month. Especially when you're running a business like day to day, there are a lot of different things you don't get time to go back to check in the books. But if someone comes and train you within 1 hour and tells you, hey, you can do things this way, it is very important, because most of the times for us, we learn in the field. Running a company as a startup in Africa is very difficult. You don't get enough time to go back to books or go back to school to learn about things. But if you can have this kind of, let's say, like mentor network series every month, they teach us a lot of things in a very short time. But also we can ask questions, we can ask for support, we can ask for customized one-on-one sessions, which can be very, very important, because at that particular time I have a problem. Like now I need someone to help me address the problem and come up with a solution. So the mentor network series have been very, very helpful to us as Kilimo Fresh. Most importantly, for example, the business growth hacking, the business strategies, the financial management, these have been very, very important. And for example, Kilimo Fresh at the moment, we're in the transition phase. Currently, we are going to serve the small street shops in Dar es Salaam. There are more than 500,000 of those. To be able to solve those shops, you need to have proper strategies, how you go to the market, proper management of inventory, proper management of the supply chain. So going through this series, these learnings has been very, very important to us. And I think I can sometimes say more important than the funds, because once someone tells you you should do it this way, it saves you a lot of time of doing trial, and also you can save a lot of money by just not trying a lot of different things, but just doing exactly what works. So to us, MEST has been very helpful in our growth for the past 2 years, but also through MEST, we're able to raise a grant. It's a small amount of money, around 20,000, but it has also helped us a lot in the working capital, because for us, most of our money, most of our expenses goes into buying and selling of vegetables. Now we pay our farmers in cash, and we supply on credit to some of our clients. So when you have more cash in the bank, that means you can trade more in the market, and you can save your customers more, and you can pay farmers on time so that they can go back in the production. So having won that grant, it really helped us to increase our working capital. So that was only through MEST that we're able to do that. But not only that, even the recent fundraiser that we did, over 225 loan that we received recently, it was because we had a MEST as our investor in the platform also. So that has really helped to increase our exposure to other investors, but also has increased the trust that investors have in us. So I can say MEST have really played a big part to where Kilimo Fresh is right now. So that's a nutshell about the journey with MEST, and I'll be happy to take questions from other participants as well.
Before we open the room for questions, Baraka, And for MEST, and I think most of the participants here will also agree with us that we understand that entrepreneur journey can be challenging and daunting, but we also do understand that, the entrepreneurial journey or a startup journey is hinged on three main pillars, that is funding, resource support, and a community. Yes. And we know that the MEST African Challenge not only providing with monetary gains in terms of the equity funding that you receive, but you touch on that, and also you touch a little bit on the resource support. But I want to also share more on how you've been able to leverage on the resource support from MEST and also from the MEST community to the survival and growth of your business and even in your personal life and career. How you've been able to leverage on those two aspects in terms of the resource support and also the community, the entire MEST community.
So actually, first of all, I would like to thank very much the MEST team, because normally, most of the times, you have a challenge, you have a situation you need help, they're readily available to provide support. And like I mentioned specifically with you, Daniel, I've been disturbing a lot in terms of I need this, I need that. In terms of resources, MEST have provided a lot of resources to Kilimo Fresh. And especially through the mentor network series, because most of the times when you have those mentors presenting, they normally do in terms of like PowerPoint presentation, they provide slides, but later on you can go back and request for a personal one-on-one session, which can come really customized based on the challenge that you have or whatever problem you're going through that particular time. So to us, that one-on-one has been very, very helpful, because at that particular time is when you can express exactly what you're going through. And for us, Kilimo Fresh, like I said, being in a transition phase, we've been facing a lot of strategies, challenges based on, I need to get to this point, but how do I go about it? Or I need to achieve this, or how do I go about it? Or who can I ask? Who can I talk to? What strategy do I use? So having those one-on-one sessions has really been helpful to us, because most of the times we get customized solution, customized advices, and this has really helped us to be able to move on to the next stage. So I can say having those readily available has played a very major key to where Kilimo Fresh is right now.
All right, thank you very much. And lastly, what would be your advice to someone on the call now that is still in doubt or wondering, should I apply? Do I have the grades? What will you say? What will be your advice to such a person?
So one thing I can say to the startups that would like to apply for the MEST Africa Challenge 2022, my personal story is that I think I applied very late. I submitted my application, I think 1 minute before the closing time. And it was late at night in Tanzania. And I didn't think I stood a chance, because it was the first time MEST came to Tanzania. Like, it was the first time they came to our market. And looking at other markets, Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, I was like, okay, how am I going to penetrate to be one winner and actually penetrate all these markets? It was very, very difficult for someone to believe that they can do it. But I was the winner, and it was the only time MEST came to Tanzania. So what I can say to startups is that apply with whatever idea you have, just apply. Just make sure that you know your numbers, you know your problem, because the problem and the solution you're providing, that is your personal journey. Just believe in yourself. Read very well the questions. If you doubt yourself, get someone else to read the answers before you apply. And what I normally do is I tend to get the questions on the Microsoft Word. I answer the question and I share with other people to review the answers. And then before I submit, I read again and again and again and again. So at least I'm sure of what I'm submitting. So even for you guys, you can use the same technique. Just believe in yourself. Get someone else's opinion, but most importantly, just believe that you are going to be the winner, because I think everyone is the winner already. So just go for it. That's all I can say.
All right. Thank you very much. And lastly, before we take questions, listening to you, all that you've shared, rosy and seamless process and experience. So I just want to touch on this one thing. Did you encounter any challenge, and how were you able to overcome those challenges during the application process, during the interview, the pitch, and every other thing. Was there any challenge that you encountered, and how were you able to sort of overcome those challenges as an entrepreneur during the MEST Africa Challenge?
You mean during the application, right?
From start to finish, was there any challenge that you experienced yourself and your business when you were putting in the application, the interview, putting your deck together, the questions, the final page? Was there any challenge that you came across, and how you were able to overcome?
Okay, so I would say two. Yeah, maybe two I can share. The first one was the timings, the time zone differences, because most of the times it was late here in Tanzania, and it was difficult to align, but I managed to do that. Sometimes I had to stay very late in the office, so at least I can participate in the interviews or do the pitches, etc. But most importantly, I can say the main challenge that I experienced was, I think I had too many things to put in a pitch, but then I came to realize one thing, that when you have a pitch deck, or when you're pitching and you have maybe, for us, I think it was 4 minutes. I don't know what's the program this year, but it was 4 minutes. Sometimes you find you have more things to pitch and it goes more beyond 4 minutes. And even the pitch deck, it can be very long. For me, I think it was a big challenge to us, but what we did was remove anything that was unnecessary, just present only the necessary ideas to the team. And it took us some time, and we get different people to review our pitches and also to review our pitch text until when we can get the final material that we shared with MEST. So to us, that was the main challenge in terms of application. I think we had too much to share beyond 4 minutes, but eventually we were able to nail it down at least to 3.5 minutes. So that was the main challenge for me, but I was able to overcome it through different, talking to different people who have done this before, but also to get my pitch reviewed by different experts, but also to practice on the mirror, try to speak, to make sure that people can hear me and things like that. So these were the most important steps for me during the application process.
All right, thank you very much, Baraka. So I think we are ready to take your questions. I don't know, I believe some of you might still have a lot of questions that you want addressed or answered. So the floor is open. You can do that by just raising your hands, and then we'll call you to answer your questions, and we'll be happy to answer them. I think I have Sibo. Okay, pardon me for not pronouncing your name well. So kindly share your question or your concern.
Hi, we'd like to ask a question regarding if you're a startup. Our startup started in 2018 in terms of registering, but we hadn't commercialized. We hadn't made money, but there were activities happening in order for us to just build the idea. So because the rules and the guidelines say the startup must be 2 years and under, if we hadn't commercialized all this while, we only started commercializing in 2022, will we qualify? Thanks.
I would like to take that.
Thanks, Daniel. Yes, please go ahead and apply using the link.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions? We are welcome to receive a lot of them anyways.
So if you're unable to unmute, you can also use the Q&A function, and then you can chat with one of us.
Any question for Baraka? Okay, I have Gloria here. Gloria, you can go ahead. Hello, Gloria, can you hear me? Gloria, you're muted, so you can talk. I think Gloria can't hear us. Any more questions? Guys, we are welcome to more questions. We are more than willing to answer them. So feel free, open up. Any more? Dupi, you can ask a question.
Hi, thanks so much for allowing me to speak. So the question I had for Baraka is, how has he managed to keep profitable, and how much staff or how many people does he have working for him or with him?
Baraka, did you hear the question?
I think there are two questions, right? The first one is how we're able to stay profitable.
Exactly.
The second is how many people we have in our team, right? If I'm correct.
Yes, that's the question.
Okay, so basically, we're able to stay profitable because we invested in our value chain. I'll give an example. The traditional model is that a farmer sells to a middleman sells to a transporter sells to a wholesaler, and then a wholesaler sells to a retailer, and a retailer sells to you. So this is a very long chain here. What we did is we go to a farmer directly, the farmer harvests the produce, we put in our truck, we get to the restaurant, we sort the orders, and then we deliver to your doorstep. So we've been able to remove all the intermediaries in between, and actually our farmers are getting 20% more revenue than they were getting before. But also, due to the removal of all these multiple number of middlemen, our customers are saving 15% every time they buy from us. That means our customers are paying 15% less if they buy from us as compared to our competitors. And with all this, with our business model, we are able to make between 30 and 35% of the profit margin. So it was through the removal of all these middlemen that we're able to increase actually the profitability. But also apart from that, we kept our costs very low by working directly with the farmers, but also by having our own fleets. And thanks to MEST, we've been able to buy a truck, and which we use to go and source the produce directly from the farms. To rent a truck from the farm to the restaurant in Tanzania, it costs around 1.8 million every trip. But for us, if we send our own truck, we only spend 200,000. So we are saving over 1.6 million by just using our own truck. So you can imagine all this goes back and increase, it goes and affects our profitability. And in your second question, how many team are working from us? When actually we applied for MEST, we had over 12 people in our team, that including 3 founders and 9 full-time employees. And we have over 7 part-time team members in the field, I remember. But at the moment, with the new project, our team has grown up to 20 people full-time, and we have over 17 people part-time in the field. This is because, like I explained before, we are serving the informal vendor market. I think in Africa, we know the small street shops in the streets. In Dar es Salaam, we have over 500,000 of those, and most of these are buying from the public market. So instead of them going 4 a.m. to the public market, we source the produce and deliver to their stores. So because of this, we need a lot of salespeople, we need a lot of drivers, but also we need people to manage the farm operations. So our team has grown up to 20 people full time and 17 people who are working directly in the farmers in the field.
All right, thank you, Baraka. I hope you've answered Dupi's question. I think Abigail's hand is up. Abigail, you are muted. You can ask a question.
Please, my question is, how many people are supposed to apply? Like, should it be a team or a single person should apply?
Okay, Abigail, to answer your question, you need to apply as a startup. So regardless of the number of co-founders that you have, and once it's a startup, you qualify to apply.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. And in the chat box, I think there's a question for you, Baraka. Someone wants to find out if MEST was able to help you with access to market.
So directly, no, but indirectly, yes. So directly, MEST didn't help us to access any new market, but through funding, we're able to go to new markets. For example, the project that we're talking about right now, the vendors, the research we did was through, we used the funds from MEST. So through the funding we got from MEST, we were able to send the team to speak with these vendors, because we spoke with over 1,000 vendors and in Dar es Salaam. And through the collection of this information, the data, we're able to come up with the business model that we're working on right now. So that is indirectly through their funding, we're able to go out there and speak with a lot of vendors. But also, it was through MEST that we're able to get other investors who are putting funds into Kilimo Fresh, which the same funds are using us to access other markets. So indirectly, yes, but not directly.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. And just to add, I mean, it's open to all startups in every sector. So we are industry agnostic. So whether you find yourself in health tech, fintech, business services, I mean, you can equally apply. We don't focus on any particular sector. And I think in the chat box, there's another question for you, Baraka. Someone is asking if you will, Zamokoli, I hope I got the name right, is asking if you consider pivoting to an infrastructure light model by partnering with third-party logistics partners and connect farmers and buyer directly.
So that's a whole different business model. And when we started up the company, we had an idea that food can be taken to market with zero waste. And that is what we've been trying to solve. And we've been working on solving. And when actually you pivot to that model, the whole business model changes, because now customers will be talking to farmers, and there'll be no stability in prices. Of course, they'll be negotiating, but again, there's actual logistics and infrastructural challenges. How does this customer get to the farmers to get the produce? Because if you're just a platform and just work on commission basis, that means it's more like Uber, let's say, maybe. You just link the two, and then they have to operate themselves. Farmer has to contact the customer has to contact the farmers to go there to collect the produce. It's a long process, and I think some people have tried in Tanzania. It did not work, and that's why we decided to be involved in the whole value chain, because we think at least we can control everything from the time produce leave the field to the time it gets to customer's table. So at the moment, we haven't considered that, but in the future, let's see. But at the moment, it's something that we haven't actually thought of.
Okay, all right, thank you. I think there's a direct question to Abena, so I'll allow her to unmute so she can answer.
Thanks, Daniel. It's not direct to me, but I'll answer it. Someone wanted to know if there's a recommended format, platform, and style required for the pitch video. So we're going to share guidelines with all the regional finalists. So all the 50 people that would be shortlisted on how exactly to pitch. I think Baraka touched on the format. Is still going to remain as 4 minutes. So to be a 4-minute pitch, and then we'll have some 2 minutes for Q&A and a further 2 minutes for transition between the different pitches. But not to worry about that too much. We will guide you through the process on what you need to do while you're pitching. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abena. Any more questions, please, for both myself, Abena, and Baraka? Okay. Daniel, you are muted. Kindly shoot.
Yeah, okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. We can hear you now, Daniel.
Yeah. I wanted to ask if your startup is in the product development stage, Can you also apply?
Yes, you can, Daniel.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Any more questions?
No question from my side. I just want to encourage as many people as possible that want to apply for the MEST Africa Challenge to apply. This is a really, really great opportunity. I'm not just saying it because I work for MEST, but I've seen the value that it has brought to all the winners of the previous MEST Africa Challenge. Kilimo Fresh, Baraka is just an example of it. We also have Oze that are doing really, really well. And the MEST Africa Challenge was able to help them scale. The funding, like you said, was able to give them access to different markets as well. So please apply. If the MEST Africa Challenge is not a startup, I'd like to encourage you to stay connected to MEST through our socials. I'll be putting it in the chat. So we have the flagship training program. I guess we'll open applications for the 2025 cohorts because we have, 2024 cohorts because we have just finished the recruitment for the 2023. We also have a pre-MEST program going on. We have a MEST Express program going on. We also have a MEST Scale program going on. So there's a lot of opportunities that you can get access to. Just follow our social media, go on our website, and stay connected to us. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Abena. And I think someone just dropped a question in the chat box saying that I wasn't able to find my sector while applying. To answer you, I mean, we don't limit the startup to any particular sector, so kindly go ahead and apply. We are very, very sector friendly, so every sector fits into the criteria that we are looking for. So you can go ahead and apply. Baraka, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I saw some people asking regarding the equity. I think you should not worry about the equity right now. That is the phrase that you get after winning the challenge, and it's a negotiation. Actually, the room is open for negotiation and based on your valuation and traction and everything else. So there's no fixed equity stake that you have to give out. So it's based on your negotiation, but also after due diligence. It's something that you don't have to worry about it right now. So just do the application. Once you win, and then you get to that due diligence phase, and then you can start negotiating about the equity. And actually, it is the last thing after you have gone through all the due diligence process. It is the last thing that you are going to do. So you don't worry about the equity right now. It's not fixed, and just stay open-minded.
All right, thank you, Baraka, for touching on that. I think we have one more question from Forsen. Forsen, you are muted, so you can kindly ask a question.
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please, we can.
Okay, hello everybody. My question is a little bit different. I'm currently in my master's degree last year of business school, and I'm writing a thesis on the fostering of innovation in West Africa. So challenges and opportunities for young entrepreneurs working with technology startups. And to do that, I'm actually particularly interested in MEST Africa itself and how you operate and how you help these entrepreneurs grow their ideas. So would there be anybody I would be able to talk to who would be open to conversation about this? The question is probably more for Daniel and Abena.
But I would really like to take it.
I think you will much better at this. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. So to answer your question, indeed, we are here to provide support to our portfolio companies. And we have lots of, we have 3 core pillars of support that we provide support to these portfolio companies that we have. So we have bespoke programs that we run. And when we are running those programs, we sort of leverage on our mentor pool to find out the people that with the right skill set to sort of provide those expertise that they have to the portfolio companies. We also leverage on our partnership and pegs that we have with strategic partners companies to sort of provide pegs and partnership to our portfolio companies. And also, we also leverage on coaching. So indeed, with what you are saying, I mean, we can always reach out to individuals with a relevant skill set to come on board to sort of help and coach and mentor our startups. And you can always reach out to us and we'll be able to pick up the conversation and see how best you can also contribute. I don't know if I've answered the question.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Oh, can you hear me properly? Okay.
Yes, I can.
You said I could reach out through which canal?
So you can reach out to myself, Abena or Melissa. We'll share our email address very shortly in the chat box.
Okay.
So
Okay, that's really nice. Thank you very much. And for the other entrepreneurs who are on the call, I am very open to conversation. I'd like to know about your experiences, the challenges you've been facing. So I'm going to drop my contact here too if you're open to talk about this. I study in France, but I'm currently in Ghana. So if you are in the country too, please reach out so we could talk about your experience and your startup. Thank you for answering my question, Daniel.
Yeah, and the email address is in the chat box, so you can just have a look at it and just shoot us an email.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay. We have one more room for one more question. I don't know if anybody has any more question to ask. Anyone? Okay, thank you very much. So I think we will take last words from Baraka and Abena before we wrap up the session. Baraka, any last words?
I think I've said it all. Just all the best to every single applicant. We really wish that you make it fun. We're looking forward to seeing and engaging all of you in the coming months. Thank you.
So for me, I would like to encourage everyone to apply. Sometimes winning doesn't necessarily mean to win the prize, but you may pitch, you may participate in the final pitch, and an investor may see you. You may not be the winner, but someone may be watching and may see you and may like your idea and may end up investing maybe even more money than maybe what you would have won from the MEST Africa Challenge. So the most important thing is visibility. Just be out there, apply, believe in yourself. MEST is a very good platform. Actually, I can recommend anyone to apply. And if you're looking to grow, if you're looking to build your networks, if you're looking to raise funds, I think you're in the right place. So go for MEST. If I'll go back in time, I would still apply, because for me, it changed everything. And it really helped us to be where we are right now. So I'd like to encourage again, everyone to believe in yourself, apply, and believe that everything will be fine, and you are the winner already. So as long as you are building a startup in Africa, you're already the winner. So just go for it. Don't question yourself. That's all I can say.
Okay, all right. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for joining and making the session very engaging. Also, we also want to thank Abena and Baraka for availing themselves to answer your questions and share their insight about MEST Africa Challenge in general. And we believe this session has been very insightful and informative to you all. And we look forward to you, sending in a lot of application, putting in your application, coming together to apply for the MEST Africa Challenge. And like Baraka said, it's a great opportunity to sort of leverage on with regards to the resource support that you can plug your business into and the MEST community in general to help grow your business and scale your business. And once again, we appreciate your time. We thank you, all of you, for joining. And we look forward to receiving more applications from you all. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the day. Good afternoon, and for some of you, good evening.